Hey guys, this is RDJ. I'm going to work my way through the role plays in the round 1 of the FedWars Tournament. I'm going to try to hit everybody that role played. I'm going to skip folks that didn't, obviously. I'm going to try to keep it brief and to the point. So you'll pardon me if I'm a little bit short or if you feel like I kind of gloss you over. Don't have a ton of time to do this, and I need to hit a lot of people, so bear with me. Also, I'm going to do one role play at a time, like I said, so there might be some rough edits from role play to role play, because I'm going to try to stop it and record after each one. All right, so let's kick it off. All right, guys, so first one we're going to be reviewing here is Chill by Design's role play for the FedWars. He just called it FedWars Tournament Championship for round 1. The rough part about this, and the thing that really took me out, was repetition. Just as an example of that, this first paragraph in the role play, I think he says the word FedWars like 8 or 9 times in one not terribly long paragraph, and that's a little tough. It really takes you out of the paragraph, takes you out of the writing, and it feels very stilted, almost like somebody stuttering, just saying the same word over and over again. It really stands out. The second thing I would work on this, Chill, is your dialogue. The dialogue in this doesn't particularly sound very natural. It definitely sounds like something somebody would write, not something anybody would say. So my advice would be, when you do your role plays with dialogue, before you commit to it and send it in, give it a read through. Read it out loud. Hell, sometimes hearing a voice say the words you're having people say really helps you to recognize whether or not it sounds natural. So there's that. All right, next is Firestorm Jonathan Mills. He was the one I picked to win this match. Mainly, the big difference between his and Tyler's role plays was just the entertainment factor. I really enjoyed Firestorm Jonathan Mills' writing. I thought it was an interesting story. I liked how he interacted with people that weren't known characters. His character being involved in the scene. This may have to do with me being more of a story, leaning more towards story role plays than promo role plays. But I did my best to set that aside for judging this. But I did mention to everybody before this started that being entertained was my number one factor, and then also, good, clean writing. So anyway, Mills did a good job. His role play was entertaining. It was funny. I liked the bit at the end about his girlfriend Lindsay Lohan being cracked out and screaming at him from the subway. I thought it was very entertaining. Like, it wasn't. I think there's definitely he's got his work cut out for him. He wants to continue the same style going into the later rounds. But I think him and Tyler both had very strong role plays in the first round, and he just won it out based on entertainment factor. All right, and last but not least in this first round was Tyler Storm. A very good role play from Story. Him having run a bunch of feds and working with him on some other stuff a while back. I haven't had the opportunity to really see him in top form in his role playing. And I think he did a really good job on this. This isn't the story that I thought I was going to read when Story D, when I went into reading his role play. So he did a very good job. I'm just not. He doesn't make me care about his characters in this role play, and that's part of being entertained by it. So that was kind of a bummer, but overall it was very cleanly written. He did a very good job. I like that his character, that Tyler Storm, had some internal conflict going on throughout the course of the role play. But yeah, I don't know. It just didn't strike me as a character that by the end of it I wasn't like eager to hear what was going to happen next with him. And it didn't really, in the moment reading the role play, I wasn't as taken by the story that was going on there as I was with Mills's. So it was close, but Mills pulled out the win on this round. All right. Second match was an easy one to call, as only one person showed up to roleplay, although I think everybody was pretty confident they weren't going to see Triple X. He had announced his retirement ahead of the tournament, so it wasn't a big surprise. Patrick Jones put up a really good roleplay. It's a shame he didn't have anybody to roleplay against. His roleplay was tight. I really liked it. I liked the characters that were in it. He did a very good job of having very clean, very natural dialogue. Called out his opponents, referenced some other stuff going on with his character, which, I don't know. I don't think you can lean on that in this tournament. I think you kind of need to treat your character a bit like a clean slate as much as you can, or assume the people reading it might not know a lot of backstory about your character. But he did a good job really calling out Triple X, even though they're both new guys, and talking a lot of smack. I don't know, those NEW guys aren't afraid to go at each other's throats in their role plays and matches and stuff. So he did a good job. It was a really good role play. I think I could see him being a challenger in round 2, especially if he keeps up that quality. Or I don't know what's going on with the NEW guys after the kerfuffle this weekend, but if he shows up, he's a great role player. So I look forward to seeing more from him. All right, guys. Well, the third match was a big waste of time with 3 folks who decided not to show up for their match. So in their place, Ryan Omega moves on. I believe what Lau decided to do was take the guy with the highest, or the folks with the highest scores who didn't win their matches, and push them into the empty slots from folks who just no-showed. I think there was 2 matches like that, so we're going to skip over this one now. Fourth match in the first round was Jessica Tendinen versus Johnny Jackson versus Tao. I'm sure I'm probably butchering the name. You'll have to forgive me. Jackson didn't show up despite talking a big game, but I know the guy's been real busy lately, and he's a friend of mine, so I won't badmouth him too much. Oh, maybe I will. We'll see. He's fun to badmouth. Jessica Tendinen put up a good role play. My only problem with it is I think too much time was spent setting up a scene and not enough time with the payoff. The description of going out for the run and the weather and all that was well done, but then it came down to the relevance of the role play being the last 2 paragraphs. There was a few things just grammar wise, how things were written out, word choices and stuff that just felt a little bit clunky to me. It just could have been a little cleaner. I think maybe one more pass on it, and it really could have stood one more pass on the proofing. So there's that. Okay, so the guy I picked to win this particular match, Tao Ishida-kun, did a good job. His dialogue is really, really natural, flows well, even though it's pretty funky. The first half of the role play seemed like it was, I don't quite get it yet, but it was interesting, and I want to see how it ties into future role plays, or how he ties the things together, or how he works with that. It was well written. I didn't see the relevance in it, but there's a bit of the mystery of how this ties into things that I want to know more about. And building mystery is a good way to get people interested in your role play. So he did a good job of that. And then it's alternate versions of the characters, or what the deal was with the second half. Like I said, I don't really get it, but I like that I don't get it and that I want to know more. The fact that the dialogue was good, the fact that the writing was clean, there wasn't a lot of grammar things there wasn't a lot of things that hung me up as far as word choices or weird punctuation. I think part of some of Jessica's stuff was just sentences were too short. It felt very jumpy, which later on when I talk about Hamilton Hercules, that's going to sound really hypocritical, but I'll explain why. So anyway, Tao wins in my book anyway. So there you go. All right, this will be the last match I call before I finish recording. I want to keep these file sizes decent. So this match was 24 karat Alex Gold, Demon X, and Craig Minter, the real demon. This is the demon, the real demon, Craig Minter. So I chose Craig Minter for the win, but let's go into Alex Gold's first. He did a good promo style role play where he's 1990s, 80s style pro wrestling promo style deal where he's just standing in front of the camera and boosting himself and slamming his opponent. He did a good job on it. It was a little bit trite in that it wasn't things that I hadn't heard before. He does a good job of playing the egotistical dude, but it just came off a little bit weak. There's guys that can pull that off that have a much deeper history of being champions and whatnot. So it's a little bit tough, but he did a good job of it. It's not the kind of role play that tends to keep me interested the whole way through. He just kind of blew off Demon X, which, I guess that's one way to tackle an opponent, but I would have preferred he handled it differently. Anyway, Yeah, there you go. There's 24 Karat Alex's Gold's roleplay feedback. Sorry, it's not longer. And then the guy I picked to win this match, Craig Minter, kicking out a very good roleplay. I like how he went after Demon X for jacking his trademark name. I think he did a good job of kind of talking about where he was coming from, making another comeback. Why is it going to be different this time? I like his style going back and forth between descriptions of the setting and his thoughts or what his character is saying. I thought it was very well paced. Grammar was good, not a lot of problems there. So there you go. I think he did a good job, and it was the better written of the two role plays. So Craig Minter gets the win. All right, guys, and that's enough for part 1 of my roleplay feedback. I'm going to go ahead and just record part 2 right now, but I'm going to split these suckers up into 2 files, so they're posted separately. All right, well, I appreciate your time, guys. Feel free if you disagree with me, if you want to talk to me about it, if you want, any help, either stop by the Asylum Wrestling Academy or PM me or come on the NGW IRC. I'm there all the time. I'm on Skype at night. Whatever you guys, I'm open to talking. Obviously at this point, there's not a lot we can do to change things, but I'm around. So feel free to pick my brain. I'm not trying to be combative. I'm not trying to go after anybody. It is what it is. So thank you guys a lot, and I'll see you in part 2.